My name is Tania Miniaka. I'm the illustrator and creator behind the webcomic Ponto. Ponto is a weekly webcomic that tells the adventures of a small orange cone who has a big dream of working in the city of Montreal. And I created Ponto a little bit in reaction to the fact that a lot of people were complaining that Montreal was only construction, or like only saying that Montréal c'est juste des cônes oranges. As an illustrator, like Montreal has always been like a really big inspiration for my work. So when I introduced the buttons at the exhibition, people were really drawn to the character. Like they saw the orange cone and they were like, wow, this is so Montreal, and like it really represents the city. But I felt like it really kind of triggered their sentiment d'appartenance to the city. Like they didn't see it in a negative way. The name Ponto came, it was a really kind of coincidence. I have a friend who French is not his first language, and he wanted to ask me a question that was, how do you say orange cone in Italian? And the way he asked me the question was, how do you say Ponto in Italian? Like I told him, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but Ponto would be a really great name for my characters. What happened is that everyone wanted the plushie. They wanted to order a Ponto plushie to have their own. So I started making those plushies, and I noticed that people actually started buying them to take him on their travel. So I started to receive like so many photos of Ponto all over the world. Like so far I think he visited about 30 countries, and they call him the Montreal traveling gnome. And even sometimes when I share those traveling photos on Instagram, some people comment and say like, oh, Ponto is inspiring me for my next trip, or like, so it's kind of fun to see how this little Montreal cone travels the world and inspires people to travel. To me, as I meet people, I always, like, the reaction that I get most of the time is that tourists who visit Montreal really enjoy orange cones, and when they see Ponto and they understand who he is, they start telling me about their own city and their own struggles with construction, and how, you know, we're not alone in Montreal. And even sometimes I've been told, oh, I wish Ponto could come to my city, like he has many friends. And so I think it's a really interesting thing. So when I started the webcomic, since you know it makes fun a little bit of construction and city workers and how like the city structure works, I was expecting people to maybe be offended by some of like the jokes and how, you know, Ponto navigates through the city life. It was the opposite that happened. I had a lot of like politicians and construction workers and engineers following me, and when they see the comic, to them it kind of like adds a little bit of humor in their reality of having to deal with the construction and all the frustration. So it's kind of nice to see that, you know, they enjoy my work. So I think that actually Ponto has been having a really positive influence on people, rather than, you know, people being frustrated about orange cones. Ponto's personality is very childlike. He has a pure heart, and he sees Montreal, you know, with really open eyes, and he wants to discover the city. So I've got a lot of comments about people who say, you know, since I read Ponto, I go to discover all those places in Montreal and I feel more proud of my city. A lot of people started calling orange cones Ponto. Even people from outside Montreal tell me, oh, there's a lot of like Ponto's cousins in my city or in my country, and it's nice that it became like a word that people are using. It's kind of interesting. So at first I was a bit reluctant in using Instagram. I created an account for Ponto, but I was sharing mostly like sketches and some process of my work. But I would sometimes bring my plushie to some events, or if I was going to discover something in Montreal, and I started sharing photos as if, you know, I was showing the life through Ponto's eyes. and there was a really good reaction. People really enjoyed it. They thought it was funny and also made them discover new places and things to do in Montreal. So I think using Instagram allowed me to do something that maybe I cannot do with the webcomic, because it updates only like once a week. So Instagram gives me the opportunity to show Ponto's daily life, like taking him to events and like how is it to be an orange cone in Montreal, and I think it's has like something really playful. People always tell me that Ponto is the best travel companion because he's always happy and doesn't complain and loves adventures. So I think I'm really blessed and thankful that people are participating so much in making Ponto become alive.